Alright, good day, my wonderful subscribers. Today we are going to quickly revise the agricultural science practical for Waec 2026, and we are going to answer expected questions. We are going to just treat some questions that are expected because some of them have been asked in the past. Some of these specimens, they've used them before for Waec practical, so we'll see if we can prepare ourselves for the exams using these revision questions. Now, some of these questions have been taken from the past questions in agricultural science over the years, not just Agric. Some questions are from fisheries, some from forestry. All of them have been past questions from Waec. So let's quickly go into it. Now, these are the specimen for this year. Specimen A, you have poultry droppings. B, you have cow dung. C, water. D, limestone. E, dibber. F, hoe. G, weighing scale. H, watering can. J, pineapple. K, cassava tuber. L, cotton lint with seeds. M, groundnut cake. You have fish meal for N, elephant grass and guinea grass. Now, in fact, most of these specimens, they are rather very easy. They are specimens that you can prepare very well for. Just read a few things about them and you are good to go. Now we are going to dissect all of them one after the other. Ask ourselves possible questions and learn the scientific name for those that have scientific names, and of course know their importance and of course their applications. So specimen A, poultry droppings. Now the first question here says list 5 characteristics of specimen A. Now I had to put the specimen in bracket since we may not be going back to the previous slide, so that we can know exactly the specimen we are dealing with in each slide. So characteristics of specimen A. Now the poultry droppings, they are rich in microorganisms, they have bad smell, it is bulky, capable of binding soil particles together, and it is amorphous, doesn't have a structure. List 5 precautions to be observed when applying specimen A. It should not be applied when fresh to crops, must not be allowed to touch the plants, should be fully decomposed before applying, must wash hands immediately after application, and should be applied when soil is wet. Please feel free to pause the video anytime because I need to rush through it so that we can cover all of the different specimens that we're given. State 5 reasons why specimen A is recommended to improve clay soil. This is one of the past questions, and of course it binds clay particles together, thus enlarging the pores, improves aeration, improves water percolation, improves soil fertility, and of course increases the nutrients that's available in the soil as well. So these are the reasons why it is very, very important in improving clay soil. Now, what class of manure does specimen A, which is poultry droppings, belong to? They are organic manure. They are just natural. They come from the droppings of poultry animals, and of course name another class of manure you have in organic manure. We just mentioned that the poultry dropping is organic manure, another class of manure is inorganic manure. Give one example of the class of manure named. Of course, NPK 15-15-15, that's the popular fertilizer. It's an example of inorganic manure. Name 2 animals from which specimen A could be obtained: chicken, turkey, duck, most poultry birds. They are capable of giving us poultry droppings. So that's for specimen A. Now for specimen B. Wow. Specimen B is cow dung, and of course this question they've brought out cow dung in different years. 5 use for specimen B in agriculture: improve soil fertility, making compost or farmland manure. In fact, there was a year they had to ask if they mixed it with sawdust to form farmland manure. So for making compost and farmland manure, generates biogas, enhance the activities of soil microorganisms, and of course improve soil structure. 4 factors which affect the quality of manure produced generally: you have age of animal, nutrition of the animal, physiological state of the feed, nature of the animal. This is from Essential Agricultural Science textbook. So these are the factors which affect the quality of manure produced, quality of, in this case, quality of dung in that is produced by the cattle. So these are some of the factors. Methods of applying specimen B to fish pond. Though this was seen in Waec fisheries past question, not Agric cultural science. So broadcasting, heaping, platform, bagging. These are methods of applying cow dung to fish pond. Remember we said it is applied in fish pond. So these are the methods of applying it to fish pond. Now next specimen is water. Specimen C is water. 5 use of specimen C in farm animals. Please, you have to answer a question like this intelligently. It's not time for you to say it used to wash plates, used to wash pot, used to, and start saying irrelevant things. You have to be scientifically inclined to answer it. Helps to quench thirst, aids digestion and other metabolic activities, to maintain homeostasis. Remember, homeostasis, regulation of the internal environment of the animal's body. Then of course serves as lubricant in joints and regulates the body temperature of the animal. Now, what are the elements present in water? Hydrogen and oxygen. Remember, it's H2O. Then of course importance of specimen C in agriculture. You see, you must look at the question very well so that you can understand what it's asking you to write before you write. Previously we said the importance of the specimen, that's the water in the animal, but here they are saying in agriculture generally. So drinking, for livestock, irrigation purposes, and of course for mixing agrochemicals. These are some of the applications of water in agriculture. Source of specimen C in the farm: you have rainfalls, your rivers, you have ponds. All of these are source of water. Well could be a source of water in the farm. We are making progress so far. Now specimen D, limestone. State 5 ways specimen D is important in agriculture. Again, this limestone has come out in different years. Decreasing soil acidity, decreasing fish pond water acidity, increases availability of soil nutrients. It's a component of animal feed, and of course it's used in making cement. In fact, that is the popular use of limestone most of us know about. So used for making cement. State 3 observable characteristics of limestone. Of course, from the picture we saw that it is light green color, it is hard and it's crystalline, almost like a stone. So it's crystalline, it's hard and light green color. The elements present in specimen D, you have calcium, and there was here they just asked what's the major element. You have calcium there, you have carbon, you have oxygen. What is the term for the agricultural practice of adding specimen D to the soil? Liming. The answer is liming. Straight wooden handle, as you can see here, it's a straight wooden handle with a conical or pointed tip at the end, and could have T-shape handles for better grip. 3 uses of specimen E. 3 uses of specimen E. You have transplanting young seedlings, making uniform large holes for sowing of seeds. It's very effective in that manner, and digging holes for rooting bulbs. It's very, very, very efficient. Now, maintaining. What are the ways of maintaining this specimen E, which is the dibber here? You have to clean after use to remove. Once you dig the ground, some of the soil may be attached to the dibber, so you have to clean it after use. And you must sharpen the pointed tip once it becomes blunt. Then you must grease the metal parts to prevent corrosion. Now, what are two other farm tools that can perform the function of specimen E? You have the seed drill and you have the trowel. You have the seed drill and you have the trowel. F is hoe. Specimen F is hoe. And of course, description of the hoe, we know it consists of a metal blade, which may be either round or rectangular in shape, and a wooden handle, although there are some with metal handles too, so which can be either long or short. 2 types of specimen F. We have the West African hoe and we have the West Indian hoe. Or the West African hoe and the West Indian hoe. State 4 uses of specimen F. 4 uses of specimen F. Of course, this one is simple for most candidates: weeding of plants, sowing of seeds, making of ridges and seed beds, then harvesting of crops like groundnuts. So all of these are the uses of the hoe, whether it's West Indian hoe, West African hoe, regardless, they all perform these functions. 3 ways of maintaining specimen F. Of course, you must sharpen the blunt edges, ensure it's always sharp. You must grease the metal blade before storage, and you must keep in a cool, dry place. You must clean it as well after use. So all of these are ways of maintaining the hoe. The farm tools that can still perform similar functions to specimen F. If specimen F is absent in the farm, what do you use for these functions? Of course, the spade can be used, the shovel can be used. Some people even go as far as using the trowel, even though the trowel is not necessarily as sharp as the hoe. Specimen G is the weighing scale. Now, when most of us see this, first thing we see is turkey or chicken for Christmas. But now I want to discuss how to use it agriculturally. 3 uses of specimen G, the weighing scale. There are feed ingredients. We want to weigh them to give to the animals. You weigh it in the weighing scale. You want to make formulations for the farm animals. You weigh it. Then, of course, the farm produce. You want to weigh whatever you harvested. You use your weighing scale. And of course, you want to sell. If you want to sell farm animals, the small farm animals, you can weigh them. So to monitor, if you want to also monitor their growth rate, you can weigh them to see if whatever feed you are giving them, if it's being effective and giving them the necessary growth. State 4 ways of maintaining specimen G. That's the weighing scale. You must clean the metal part of the scale to avoid rusting. You must do that. You must oil the spring and the other metal parts. Do not place load on the scale when not in use, so that it does not spoil it. And do not carry the scale by the top loader. There is a place where you can carry it that is meant for you to carry it if you want to change its position, move it from place to place. Don't just carry it by the top loader. Mentioned 4 errors that may arise when using specimen G to weigh farm produce. Failure to zero the scale. Maybe you start from a former scale, and in the process you don't get the right measurement you want. Then overloading of the scale. Then error due to parallax, and that is what we all know. Everybody knows that one, error due to parallax. Then scale not placed on level ground may affect the reading of the scale. As you can see, the two handles there for lifting and carrying the can, and that's a perforated mouth there with holes. State 4 uses of specimen H, the watering can. State 4 uses of specimen H, which is the watering can for light irrigation of plants during dry season, application of liquid fertilizer, application of water to seedlings in a nursery, watering cement blocks used for constructing farmhouse. Watering cement blocks used for constructing farmhouse. Now, what are the ways by which you can maintain specimen H, which is a watering can? We must wash and keep dry after use to it is not a bucket. So after use, you wash it and you keep it dry. You store or hang upside down. You keep the nozzles free from blockages so that for easy passage of water, and rinse with water if used for liquid fertilizers. Oh, pineapple. One of the sweetest fruits ever. Now, what's the botanical name for specimen J? Ananas commosus. Ananas commosus. Now, remember, since you won't be writing in italics, remember to underline. The generic name will start with capital letter, the specific name is going to start with small letter, and you underline both separately. So, Ananas commosus. Name one planting material that can be used to propagate specimen. Sucker, crown, ratoon, slip, all of these are used to propagate pineapple. But suckers, those of us that are biologically inclined, suckers there. According to its uses, it's a fruit crop. 4 uses of specimen J. Consumed as food. The peels are used as livestock food. And the cosmetic industry for skin and hair products and medicinal purposes. It's very medicinal. Cassava tuber. That's specimen K. What's the botanical name of specimen K? Manihot esculenta. Manihot esculenta. Name the method of propagation of specimen K. You have stem cuttings, and of course, one major nutrient which could be obtained for specimen K: carbohydrate. Tubers are rich in carbohydrates. State 4 ways specimen K, oh my god, is of importance. Now, it can be processed into animal feed using the production of flour consumed by humans, and starch can be extracted for use in the textile industry. It's consumed by humans. What I mean by that is used to make different things that humans use, that humans consume, whether it's cassava flour, whether it's gari. All of these are very important to humans. Now, there was a year that the one of the specimen was fresh cassava tuber, so they asked these particular questions: what is the toxic compound found in that fresh cassava tuber? And the answer was hydrogen cyanide. Then the follow-up question was 3 ways of removing that toxic substance that was named. You have to soak the tubers in water for some days, fermentation, grafting the tubers and squeezing out water under pressure for a few days, boiling and cooking the tubers. These are all ways of removing the hydrogen cyanide. Then describe the process of processing cassava tuber into gari. Oh my god, this is just fantastic. So you get the raw cassava tubers, you peel the tubers with a knife, wash the peeled tubers, you grate the peeled tubers with a grater, and then that grated cassava into sacks. Then you ferment the grated tubers for 3 days. You sift the fermented material, fry the fermented material into gari. Then of course you have to sift the fried gari again into fine or coarse forms based on what you want, and then you bag the gari. After which you can add gari, granite, and sugar and milk to enjoy yourself. Don't add that to stop at bag the gari, but some of you can do strange things. Specimen L, cotton lint with the seed, because they asked us at cotton lint with the seeds. Now, there was the botanical name of the crop from which the cotton lint was obtained. Now that's Gossypium species. Gossypium hirschutium, any of the Gossypium species. Name the method of propagation of the crop from which specimen L was obtained. Seeds. And of course, it's a fiber crop or oil crop. It's a fiber crop, also an oil crop. But the cotton lint, it's a fiber crop. Mention 2 methods of harvesting specimen L from its parent plant. That's your hand picking, by hand picking, and of course by mechanical harvesting. Then mention 2 insect pests of the parent crop of specimen L. That's 2 insect pests of cotton, which is cotton stainer, cotton bollworms. Mention the steps in the processing of cotton lint after harvesting: grading, spinning, dyeing, weaving, boiling. State 5 uses of specimen L. Of course, our cotton lint is for making clothes, for dressing wounds, using filling pillows and mattresses, make them soft, used for padding fragile materials, and of course cotton board, which we all know is used for cleaning the ears. Oh my word. I think after the exam we'll just carry groundnut cake, quickly process some of the cassava into gari, use the water, specimen C. We are good to go. Now explain how specimen M is prepared. Now, how is groundnut cake prepared? You collect the seeds of the groundnut, crush and press to remove the oil, then press the remnant with machines to form cakes which are dried. Name 1 major nutrient which could be obtained from specimen M. Protein. Simple. Outline the steps used in processing groundnut cake from groundnut seed. You have drying, roasting, grinding, pressing, and frying the extract. Drying, roasting, grinding, pressing, frying the extract. What is the method of propagation of the plant from which specimen M was obtained? In essence, what is the method of propagation of groundnut? So, seed. 4 effects of exposing specimen M for several days in the store. That is effects of improper storage of specimen N. So it absorbs moisture, it is easily attacked by pests, becomes contaminated, and it becomes rancidity. Fish meal. There are 2 ways of preparing fish meal. You have the dry process and you have the wet process or rendering. So these 2 processes that are described, the dry process is described here, the wet process is described here. Name one major nutrient which could be obtained from specimen. Protein. Fish, obviously, so protein. And three functions of the nutrient named above: growth, repair of ulnar tissues, production of enzymes, and hormones. All of these are functions of protein. Name one animal from which specimen egg could be processed or obtained. You have tilapia, of course, it's fish. So you can get fish meal from that tilapia. Name three other byproducts of fish processing. You have fish scales, you have cod liver oil, you have fish skin. You can obtain all these products from fish. Elephant grass. What is the botanical name of elephant grass? Penicetum purpureum. Name the method of propagation by stolons. Of course, elephant grass is propagated by stolons. And what's the principal food nutrient for livestock contained in specimen O? You have carbohydrates. Penicetum purpureum. Again, remember you underline both of them, and the generic name has capital letter, specific name has small letter. State the form of preserving specimen O. Silage and hay. Silage and hay. Uses of elephant grass. You have feeding livestock, thatching of roof, as mulch material to conserve soil moisture, as bedding material in livestock house or pens, and of course planted to prevent erosion. Then our final specimen, specimen P, which is guinea grass, formerly Panicum maximum, now Megatrichus maximus. Megatrichus maximus. That's the botanical name for guinea grass. Now name the method of propagation. Of course, seeds, and of course the principal food nutrient. Just the way we ask for elephant grass, we also ask for guinea grass, and of course carbohydrate is present there. Statutory importance of guinea grass apart from its food value. That is why I said you have to look at the questions very well before rushing to answer. So dried stems are used for thatching of roofs, mulching, and can be used as food. Now what are the forms of preserving specimen P? Silage, hay. We said that for elephant grass. We are repeating it for guinea grass. So following this, we'll ask there are questions that follow. Like now, state 4 qualities each of the preserved forms. Remember, we just said silage and hay. So look at the qualities of silage and look at qualities of hay. So silage must have a mild, pleasant aroma. It makes our acceptability. Must be free from mold and slime. Leaf to stem ratio must be high, and it must be light, pale green, or greenish yellow. These are the qualities of silage. So all of these are past questions. And of course, what about the qualities of hay? Must retain a fairly green color. The forage should be cut before flowering. Should be free from dust and molds. And of course, it must have a low moisture content. It must have a low moisture content. So all of these are the qualities of hay. State 4 management practices that could be adopted to improve a pasture on which specimens O and P are grown. Of course, irrigation is an important management practice. You have controlled grazing, fertilizer application, pest control. All of these are important management practices. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I wish you all the best in your practical examination. Thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe.